All right, ladies and gentlemen, StormScoper Michael Machacek here with a full video here. Um, the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center has issued a day 2 slight risk in Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, barely Indiana and Illinois, and then a marginal risk also in Indiana, the previous mentioned states, Alabama, and western Ohio. There is a 5% tornado risk in southeastern Missouri, a majority of Arkansas, northern Louisiana, extreme northwestern Mississippi, extreme western Tennessee, extreme western Kentucky, and a tiny part of Illinois. 2% reaches out to barely clip Ohio, a majority of Indiana, southern Illinois, much more of southern Missouri, parts of Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, extreme northeastern Texas, the rest of northern Louisiana, a majority of Mississippi, about the western half of Tennessee, and about the same of Kentucky. There are tornadoes possible tomorrow, and I know this is a late recording, it being 8:15 Eastern Daylight Time, or 12:15 UTC, or I'm sorry, 00Z. But I apologize, I have been busy. There are tornadoes possible tomorrow, and these storms, if they continue east, can threaten this area here, but not likely. There's an even larger 15% risk of damaging wind in this area here. Even in parts of western Ohio, majority Indiana, Illinois, a bunch of the previously mentioned states, Alabama, again, a majority of Tennessee and Kentucky, half of the southern half of Illinois. The hail area is considerably smaller, 15% risk in southwestern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, and western Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, a small piece of it anyways. The discussion from the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center says there is a slight risk of severe thunderstorms from northeast Texas and eastern Oklahoma across the Ozarks and toward the lower Ohio Valley and into the lower Mississippi Valley. Scattered severe thunderstorms are possible Saturday across parts of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas, the Ozarks, mid to lower Mississippi, and lower Ohio valleys. Damaging winds, a few tornadoes, and hail may occur. A low-latitude shortwave trough will move rapidly across eastward across Texas and Oklahoma during the day, as a stronger wave digs into the Central Plains. These features will merge Saturday night as the upper trough crosses the Mississippi River, with a large area of height falls and strengthening winds aloft, expanding across the Ohio and Tennessee Valley into Sunday morning. At the surface, a cold front will stretch roughly from the upper Mississippi Valley eastward, or southwestward, into northern Oklahoma at 18Z, or for some of you, 18Z is 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 1 p.m. Central Time. With a plume of mid to upper 60-degree Fahrenheit dew points already in place from eastern Texas into Oklahoma and possibly southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri. After 00Z or 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, the cold front will accelerate eastward, stretching from western Ohio into northern Mississippi and Louisiana. I'm sorry for the yawn, guys. and into southeast Texas. The combination of increasing large-scale ascent as well as a sufficiently unstable air mass with strong deep layer shear should result in widely scattered strong to severe thunderstorms beginning around midday and persisting into the overnight hours. Eastern Oklahoma and Texas into the lower Mississippi Valley. A complex scenario exists on Saturday with potential for early rain and thunderstorms and uncertainties regarding destabilization. In general, hail is possible over western areas with an increasing damaging wind threat farther east late. Storms are likely to develop by midday ahead of the southern wave with lift overspreading the moist plume. Cell-producing hail appear likely from northeast Texas and Oklahoma and also from northern Arkansas into southern Missouri within the moist plume. A few supercells will be possible with 40 plus knot deep layer shear and stronger low level shear. Later in the afternoon and evening, as the cold front overtakes the air mass, an elongated area of storms with wind damage potential is forecast, and this will push across the lower Mississippi Valley. A tornado or two may occur from Louisiana into Arkansas, though instability will become the limiting factor farther east overnight. Into the Ohio Valley and Midwest. As the upper trough and surface low deepen overnight, wind fields and shear profiles will increase ahead of the cold front. A forced line of convection is possible across this region as dew points remain in the lower 60s. And 800 millibar winds increase to over 50 knots. This could result in nocturnal damaging winds, or a QLCS, for those of you who don't know the term, quasi-linear convective system, which is when rotation begins to be able to form tornadoes along a line in what's it called, line segment thunderstorms or linear mode. A QLCS tornado over southeast Illinois, Indiana, and northern Kentucky, and perhaps far western Ohio prior to 12Z, or 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 7 a.m. Central Time. Now to our NAM 3K model, and here we will see the, let me zoom in for you guys. Okay, this is 4Z or midnight Eastern Time, 11 p.m. Friday Central Time. We have storms starting to fire along a line early, but they do not have much to, actually they have quite a bit available to them. This has changed since I last looked at it. There's not much surface-based CAPE, but most unstable CAPE is sitting at 1382 joules per kilogram. There's going to be a little bit of cap, but 54 knots of shear. Storm relative helicity from 0 to 1 and 0 to 3 kilometers is off the charts. And the humidity is pretty high. I mean, relatively high anyways. That's going to be strong storms starting off in the morning. You see we're getting discrete storms, and then it slowly becomes a linear mode. This is 12Z, so this would be 7 a.m. Central, 8 Eastern. The conditions, even as these storms continue to move eastward, are getting increasingly favorable for thunderstorms, according to the NAM 3K model. The cap continues to weaken. Even less of a cap here, but a little less supporting strength for thunderstorms. Now we see storms starting to fire over eastern Oklahoma. This is 14Z, which is, I believe, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. with energy available to them, not much in northern Texas and a little bit in eastern Oklahoma. Oh no, quite a bit in eastern Oklahoma. With not much of a cap at all. We get the 16Z. This is nearly a linear mode, but you can see all the discrete cells, which have a very primed environment available to them for tornadogenesis and just severe all hazards, really. I'm not really worried about Ohio, my home state. We get to 18Z. You can see it start to take the linear mode, but you can see several discrete and embedded cells still persisting. I mean, these storms are going to be capable of producing tornadoes and damaging wind and hail. All hazards. This is an all hazard scenario. I cannot stress that enough. I don't even need to show you the HRRR, though I will. 20Z. The storms should still be going strong with increasing amounts of energy. I mean, I could even see these storms. I'm going to move to the north central U.S. I can even see these storms actually continuing on to my part of Ohio, which is northeast. I'm going to show you the HRRR model anyways, because it's not a complete forecast if I don't do that. So, the HRRR isn't being as generous. As you can see, we don't see much activity firing until about 14Z, with still a lot of potential to the storm, for storms to eat. Unfortunately, that's the farthest the HRRR goes, but at this moment. But as you can see, there's not much firing on the HRRR. This is why I don't use the HRRR. Some of you might disagree with me, but the HRRR usually is not very agreeable. So I would like to say, stay safe, everyone. These storms could potentially be dangerous, even in western Ohio, western Kentucky, and I must stress, even as these storms continue into Sunday, these storms could still be dangerous. They could even still be tornadic as they move across Ohio and Kentucky and Tennessee and into PA. They could, in West Virginia, they can still be tornadic if given the right environment. This could be the storm system that hasn't happened for months. So I remind everyone, stay safe, stay prepared, and be ready. I am StormScoper Michael Machacek, and I thank you for your time.